Hey, listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM 89.0, ArrowFM, and MPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey!
Raw, SmackDown, we got them all. Let's start with a little bit of SmackDown. We knew Roman Reigns and Shinsuke Nakamura were going to go head-to-head for the Intercontinental title, but the match kind of exploded towards the end.
Yeah, it was a classic Teddy Long special.
Singles match into an interference into a tag team match main event player.
Yep. Only thing missing was going one-on-one with The Undertaker.
I love how there's the two memes. That's all we've got. There's tag team match player and one-on-one with The Undertaker.
And he embraced it so much, too. That was the beauty of it.
I'm pretty sure it was like at WWE on Fox was tweeting it as well, like I wonder who made our main event or who booked our main event, and it was just a gif of Teddy Long. But as you say, it led to Reigns and Daniel Bryan teaming up once more and once again picking up a win.
Yeah, they were good matches. I would have liked to have seen a finish to the Intercontinental title match, but I probably would have been in tears if that had actually happened. That's it. I could only see this as being a good thing for Shinsuke because it at least elevates him to a higher position as being the Intercontinental Champion, facing arguably still the top face in the company. Mm-hmm. Because the Universal Champion's technically floundering at the moment.
That's fair enough. You know, although his title defense did end prematurely and he did lose in the main event, as you say, it's still nothing major lost because he didn't lose, you know, the one-on-one. And even if he did, you know, it's against Roman Reigns, so it's hard to fault the man for that. But someone I am going to say is starting to be on a bit of a losing streak or a downward spiral is our brand new king. He's not doing all too well for him.
He did win the feud with, well, I guess we have to call him now Shorty G.
But do we have to?
He's calling himself that.
Can we just ignore that and just call him Gable and just never reference that the WWE have given him this stupid name?
I'm going to call him that because he's actually owning it. And that's the big difference. That promo he gave after his match was amazing. And it's definitely spelled out exactly why they're doing this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the name is stupid, but there's a reason behind it.
Yeah.
And it's working. That's the thing that needs to be taken away from it.
It's just going to be hard to look past the stupid name.
I would love to see him be the one that would take the title off of Shinsuke. I think that would be well deserved.
Well, looking at the crowd that's hanging around the Intercontinental Championship at the moment, you know, we just talked about them, Shinsuke, Corbin, Bryan, and Reigns. It's quite a decorated crowd, so putting Shorty G in there is going to be quite an elevation for him, but something that we've been working towards, you know, for months now, ever since that King of the Ring started. Slowly just sort of building him, and as you say, him taking the title could be the perfect opportunity to do that. Pull the trigger and elevate him once more to even the next level.
And, you know, as far as the King goes, or King Corbin, he's the one guy that could probably afford to go on a big losing streak and it not hurt at all. Think about it. In the first segment on SmackDown on Fox, he was in it. He took a major L in that, but he was in it and it didn't hurt him. What are a few losses going to hurt him when he's basically been about the same the entire time since his GM run ended?
That's true. King Corbin has not been able to string wins together for quite a while, except in the King of the Ring tournament, and then immediately went back to being unable to string them together. They nerfed Corbin in the patch notes that I got to read after the King of the Ring. He just did too well. But yeah, he's one of those dudes who will just, you're going to boo him regardless. You're going to hate him regardless. He doesn't need to win to keep his heat.
No. And I think maybe we should move on to somebody who might want to actually talk about.
Okay, who you got?
Your boy Drew's back.
Yay. Somehow.
And he proceeded to destroy my boy.
But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. When we saw Drew McIntyre was drafted, it was like, oh, okay, he's on the horizon. And yeah, just kick a dude's head off. Didn't have to be any dudes, but just happened to be your dudes.
Yeah, it was interesting. But we'll have to see. But it does look like they do have some decent sized plans for Drew. Because they threw him in a certain match as well.
Yeah, he'll be teaming up with 4 other dudes and against 5 other dudes on some rando show with Flair in his corner or something. But that does sort of cement you as one of the top 10 guys, I feel like. Those 2 teams, I'm not going to go through the names on them, are, your top tier talent. So being put into one of them is quite a recognition. And that hopefully does mean good things for Drew McIntyre in the future. And no more stumbling blocks, please. Just Drew, full force. Let's go.
Well, there may be a cap if a certain event happens at that certain event that we can't talk about.
My God. What's the hypothetical event? Would that be a title change?
Yeah. It would be a title change.
Okay, so if by some crazy way The Fiend was champion by the time that with this show next week is, but not records, there's a really weird time difference piece there. Please don't have Thursday pay-per-views. Then you're saying that Drew will not be going against The Fiend, is what you're predicting there?
Yeah, and if he does, he won't beat him.
Yeah.
That's the reason I said there'd be a cap on him if that event occurs.
So hopefully the event of no significance continues to be the event of no significance, and Drew McIntyre can take out Seth Rollins and be the next Universal Champion. I'm dreaming high, okay? I'm going full force.
Probably would have occurred had he not gotten injured, because we probably would beat King Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. I fully believe that's where we were heading. I think Drew was destined for big things, and then, bit of a stumbling block. But we're going to stick on Raw, because we're talking about people I want to talk about, because that's how we transitioned over here. Aleister Black, he's come out of his little room, and he's just kicking in the head of random people.
Yeah, I forget who it was, but I know last week it was the unfortunate victims was the B Team.
This week it is Jason Reynolds.
Yep, just some rando local.
Yeah. The ominous man from Amsterdam.
He got paid like $2,500 to have his head kicked in.
That's true. I'll take that any day, I think. Yeah. Hold on. Health insurance cover your head being kicked in? Maybe?
If you could afford to have it in the first place.
That's true. But Aleister Black, we were expecting big things when he first came, and he sort of floundered around not doing a whole lot, and now he seems to be in that sort of defeating jobbers holding pattern that the Viking Raiders were stuck in for a really long time. So I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of worried he's going to stay in that holding pattern too long.
I don't know exactly what the plans are, but I do know that everybody is high on him, so I don't expect him to just be a flash in the pan.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of finding the right storyline. And I think, for the most part, the reason he doesn't have anything right now is because he's just waiting for that event next week to pass. Because I have a feeling his first major feud will be with a certain 14-time champion.
Yeah, that's a fair enough comment there. I also believe possibly Aleister Black's not allowed to attend said event, but aside of that, What do we got? Oh, it's gonna be time for song. I'm gonna tell you, prepare your song because I don't think I asked you before the show. Start thinking about it.
I sent a message right at the beginning of when you called me.
All right, well then it's time for our entrance theme this week, and it is. Well, I scroll to Facebook and find out it is Humberto Carrillo's theme. I was totally prepared for that. So listen to that song now. And you're back with the Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and NPR. I'm Grady, he's Josh, and that was totally a prepared theme beforehand. Not me just grabbing it right then. Much like the 24/7 championship, where it's hectic and all over the place. I'm bad at transitions as always, but we do have a new champion.
Oh, okay. Who's the new champion?
One of the Singh brothers, I believe Sunil. We have transitioned the belt away from R-Truth, and he is getting dangerously closer to his, 50 millionth run. Is it 27 to beat Raven?
I think it was 27.
Might be 27 to tie, 28 to beat, or something like that. But yeah, as of now, again, with these recordings, it's really hard. As of this very second, that is the champion, Sunil Singh. So, 24/7 title is still being bounded about. I believe the title was officially on Raw. It wasn't a sort of YouTube-y title change. But yeah, now we see where the belt goes, because I don't know what brand the Singh brothers are on off by heart. But I'm sure if I go to WWE.com, it'll tell me how quickly I can scroll. Unless you know the answer and you're just playing with me.
I think the Singh brothers are assigned to 205 Live.
Oh, okay. QRS. There they are. Boom. They are, 205 Live. So the belts are officially, I guess, switched brands. Slightly, kind of, maybe. It does open them back up for Drake Maverick again. He can slide on in. Because now they're on sort of an in-between brand. They could go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, they could end up on NXT.
Eventually. I'm sure they will.
Because they are sharing talent on 205 Live with NXT right now.
I guess with NXT going live, it's a lot easier to incorporate something like the 24/7 title, or even the women's tag titles, because, you don't have to time, oh, this happened here, but that was taped, and it's not going to air for another 3 weeks, and trying to balance that out. Now that it's live, it's fairly trivial to have the 24/7 champion appear over there. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Quite possible. Well, I don't know where to jump next, so I'm going to jump over to SmackDown, and we're going to talk about the New Day teaming up with Heavy Machinery. Because the the amount of gifs out of this match, there is just so many gifs, and they're all amazing.
Gotta love Otis. Gotta love him.
Surely championship on their horizon someday.
Yeah, but actually I want to talk about something. I didn't notice it when I was watching the show, but I did have it pointed out. If you were watching Kofi when they were talking about him being as a pick-me-up after losing the title,
yeah,
he was holding a pancake and was squishing it when he was talking about the power of positivity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it wasn't bothering him. Clearly, his actions say otherwise.
Yeah. They were definitely teasing something. Yeah. Well, either Kofi or the WWE were teasing something.
And then Xavier Woods gets hurt.
Yeah. Sorry. There's always one star, I feel like, that gets injured in the Australian tour.
And I've heard rumors of a possible second.
Oh, god damn it. Australia, why?
And it's a major one, too.
Xavier wasn't major? Please.
God. Oh, I don't mean to disparage Xavier Woods. But when you compare him to Roman Reigns, that's when you put a level of major on it.
Nah, they're about equal. Potato. Why does the Australian tour injure people? Is it just... There's some weird heebie-jeebies around that.
But it's just a rumor as far as whether Roman's injured or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it is definitely confirmed that Xavier's injured and is probably going to be gone 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, that's quite a while. But I
Because an
guess
Achilles injury is not easy to heal from.
I don't know what they were going with the New Day going forward. Whether heel turns, whatever. But if they're gonna just sort of stay in the way that they've been going for now, Xavier can pull off, a non-physical role while still remaining relevant within this team. I guess that is a slight bonus of being a trio. They can continue to go around and do their tag team stuff. And Xavier just becomes a cheerleader on the side. So nothing really changing, to be fair, too much. Sorry, Xavier. That was a low blow. But he can still stick around a little bit. Whether he wants to, or whether he wants to actually go off and recoup the whole time, totally up to him. But yeah, Australia Tour, please stop injuring people. Please. And then over on SmackDown still, we had a 6-pack challenge to see who would be the next challenger for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And it was Nikki Cross.
Yeah. I'm not that surprised. I will say this, it's better than Alexa.
Yeah. It wasn't my...
I don't see Nikki winning. But it'll be a nice match.
Yeah, it wasn't my first pick from the people who were fighting in the 6-pack challenge, but it's not a bad pick from the people that were in the 6-pack challenge.
My pick was Sonya Deville.
Yeah, she was high up my list. Sonya Deville or Dana Brooke would have been my 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah, Dana would have been nice too. Yeah, it's just, but hey, that establishes Nikki. Gives them a reason to drive her separately from Alexa. Yeah,
definitely. Like, I guess the way I was just talking there, it sounds a little bit like I wasn't happy with the fact Nikki won. It's not that at all. I'm perfectly happy with the match. I think she'll put on a really good one with Bayley. I want to say they fought in NXT a couple times.
No, I think she came in after Bayley had left.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure Bayley's final matches were, she didn't have a match with Nikki, because I don't think the sanity was there yet.
Okay. Looks like they had a match on Raw, but none on NXT.
Yeah, I think that one was the one to give Alexa another shot at Bayley's title this past summer.
So I'm going to rephrase my sentence and say that both Bayley and Nikki Cross put on amazing matches in NXT, although not with each other. And so there's, no reason this one isn't going to be a good one either. Bayley is just starting to get going with this heel character and everything, so I definitely don't see, as you say, Nikki taking the belt at all. But will it drive a wedge of tension between her and Alexa, maybe?
It's entirely possible. I mean, we haven't seen Alexa yet. So we don't really know how she feels or anything about the draft or being traded or her teammate getting a title shot against Bayley.
Yeah. I feel like she wouldn't be all too happy, but maybe she is. Maybe she's happy for her friend. Possibly, maybe, definitely not. And then the last thing from SmackDown of note that I can see in a quick rundown, there was a massive return. Honestly, there's not enough people talking about this return on SmackDown. It was Drew Gulak's PowerPoint presentation.
Which immediately got squashed.
Yeah, but they came back.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if he lost. I still got to see someone put a big PowerPoint presentation up on the Titantron.
Yeah. I felt so happy, and then I was like, oh, he's just going to get beat up by Braun now.
Yeah.
Poor guy. And then he got beat up by Braun, and he was a poor guy.
Yeah. Sorry, Drew. But it was a bit of a comedy moment. Before just showing, I'm Braun Strowman and I'm tough and I'm gonna beat Tyson Fury at show that shall not be named. But that's pretty much all it is at the moment. It's just building Braun, stronger dude. And I'm sure the SmackDown next week will do it once again. Now we're gonna backflip back on over to Raw. I say backflip because we did get a match between Andrade and Sin Cara, and they both like the flippy stuff.
Yeah. It was a decent match. I really have high hopes for Andrade. I think he can be a major star. I also have to wonder if maybe Humberto might be the big Latin star that might be able to break out. WWE needs for the future of the company in that demographic.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had Rey Mysterio, and then it seemed as though it was like, okay, cool, we've got Sin Cara, he's gonna do it, and then there was the whole thing with the original Sin Cara and all that jazz, and then he sort of floated off. Alberto Del Rio was going for it a little bit in the middle there, and then he's persona non grata now. And then Andrade's coming out and is like, boom, Andrade can do it. And you've got Andrade, he's doing really well on Raw. And then you book Humberto Carrillo against Seth Rollins.
Yeah. And they had a pretty good match, and Carrillo's only like 24. So definitely got time to be able to be built into a major star.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives WWE two good options for the Latino market.
One face, one heel. Perfect. One lovable dude that you want to get behind, and one absolute guy you hate.
Slimeball.
That's a lovely word you can say on the radio. With a manager that is also a slimeball. It perfectly works out. I could see that being the big feud. You know, like we were expecting probably like 4 years ago. My years suck. Sin Cara, Rey Mysterio to sort of be the thing. And then it's like, I could see Humberto Carrillo Andrade being the thing. It all just depends what happens in the wash and what happens in the next few months, because we are now, now I gotta do quick math, 6 months away from WrestleMania. Roughly 5.5-ish. So we are starting to hit that road to WrestleMania, obviously kicking off in January with the Royal Rumble, but you got to start looking towards that stuff now. It's only a little while away.
Yeah, we're about 3 months away from the Royal Rumble.
Maybe one of these two win it. Maybe Andrade wins the Royal Rumble.
That would be a major upset.
I could see it. I picked Andrade. Yes. I don't think I could see Humberto Carrillo winning it, but I could definitely see Andrade winning it.
Yeah.
Is it one of the top 5 at the moment picks that you'd make for it? No, but I wouldn't be overly surprised if Andrade came out with victor. And then we've also got another person on the chessboard that I don't quite know how to play just yet, but Cain Velasquez, he's sort of best buddies with Rey for the next little bit.
Yeah, they're definitely using Rey as an element to get Cain over with the crowd.
Not that Cain, the other Cain.
Oh, regular Cain?
Nah. It was this one. But I'm going to struggle because I suck at pronouncing his last name, and I'm very sorry. So I will probably refer to him as Cain. I don't mean the other one. I don't mean the demon. Yeah. No, that's Finn. The other one.
Vasquez.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say Cain.
Cain V. Yeah, I have hopes to see if he can transition the way Ronda did.
Mm-hmm.
Ronda had one of the smoothest transitions I've ever seen into professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So I have hopes. We'll have to see. Obviously, he has a match at that show that shouldn't be named.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see how that turns out. But I guess it's just basically we're in a waiting pattern because we don't really know what the plans are for him.
Yeah, it all comes down to the end of this pay-per-view, but I think he is sort of paired with Rey Mysterio right now, and Rey is on Raw, and his adversary Brock Lesnar is over on SmackDown. So there's going to be something there, whether he stays on Raw with Rey or whether this is a very short-term alliance and he's going to be jumping ship over to SmackDown to continue trying to attack Brock Lesnar. I don't quite know.
I don't know either, but I do know he might have given a piece of an idea with his announcement about his signature signing with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Because he mentioned the Universal Championship in it, not the WWE Championship that his adversary Brock Lesnar holds.
Okay.
So,
I think he might be sticking with Rey. I think that might be why this irregular show that's happening on a Thursday just to annoy everybody might be the one and only collision for these two for a little while. I think Cain might come back to Raw with Rey Mysterio and just reside back here for a little while. But we won't know until next week, and in saying that, that shitty little show wouldn't have happened by the time we record next week, so we won't know next week either. But the week after, we should hopefully have some light shined upon where Raw, SmackDown, and all these superstars are heading towards... It is Survivor Series. I did have to double check before I made the comment. Heading towards Survivor Series. Alright, well that's all we got time for. It's been great talking to you.
Bye-bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/WrestlingRadio, Twitter page, twitter.com/WrestlingRadio. We'll see you next week.